The arena fell silent as Kethvar the Destroyer stepped into the crimson sand, his forearms gleaming with ceremonial war paint. 8 feet of pure Zephyrian muscle, he had never known defeat in 3 centuries of combat. His trophy collection included the skulls of champions from 17 different species, warriors who had ruled their respective worlds until they met him. Today's challenger was different. Today's challenger was human. Captain Sarah Chen walked into the arena with nothing but standard-issue military fatigues and a broken sword she'd found in the wreckage of her destroyed ship. The blade was snapped halfway down its length, jagged and worthless by any reasonable measure. The crowd of alien dignitaries laughed, a sound like grinding metal mixed with dying wind. "This is what the humans send?" Kethavar's voice boomed through the arena's acoustics. "A small female with a broken toy?" Sarah didn't respond. She simply rolled her shoulders, tested her grip on the sword's handle, and took a fighting stance that looked deceptively casual. The Galactic Council had been clear. If humanity wanted representation in the Senate, they had to prove their worth through combat. One human against Kethvar, winner takes all. It was a tradition as old as galactic civilization itself, designed to keep the lesser species in their place. What they didn't understand was that humans had been breaking things and making them deadlier for millennia. The signal horn blared. Kethvar charged with the fury of a collapsing star, his forearms wielding energy weapons that could vaporize titanium. Sarah waited until the last possible second, then rolled left. The broken sword in her hand swept out in a wide arc and somehow, impossibly, caught Kethvar across his armored shin. The energy shields that protected the destroyer flickered, then died. The crowd's laughter turned to confused murmurs. "Impossible," hissed Ambassador Velthar from the viewing booth. "Those shields can withstand plasma cannons." But Sarah wasn't done. As Kethvar spun to face her, she was already moving. The broken blade became a blur in her hands, not elegant like Elvari sword dancing, not brutal like Korgan axework, but something entirely different. Something adaptive. She used the broken tip to hook one of his weapons away, used the jagged edge to tear through his ceremonial armor. When he grabbed for her with his upper arms, she ducked low and drove the stub of blade into the joint where his leg met his torso. A weakness that existed in Zephyrian anatomy but which no warrior had ever been small enough or fast enough to exploit. Kethvar roared and swung all 4 weapons simultaneously. Any other species would have been obliterated. Sarah went prone, rolled between his legs, and came up behind him. The broken sword found the gap between his neck armor and his skull crest. "Yield," she said quietly. For the first time in 3 centuries, Kethvar the Destroyer hesitated. "I don't understand," he rumbled. "Your weapon is broken. You are half my size. You have no energy shields, no enhanced strength, no natural armor. By what right do you stand as my equal?" Sarah twisted the broken blade slightly. A thin line of blue blood appeared on his neck. "That's where you're wrong," she said. "I'm not your equal." The crowd held its breath. "I'm human," she continued. "We don't need things to be perfect to make them deadly. We don't need to be the strongest or the fastest. We just need to be stubborn enough to keep fighting with whatever we have left." She gestured to the broken sword. "You see a worthless weapon. I see a blade with a point, edges that can cut, and a handle that won't slip in my grip. You see my size as weakness. I see it as an advantage. I can go places you can't, move in ways you can't predict." Kethvar tried to move, but the broken blade tracked his movement perfectly. "Your species conquered 17 worlds," Sarah said. "Mine survived ice ages, plagues, and wars that should have wiped us out. We learned to make fire from wet wood, to hunt animals 10 times our size, to turn scraps of metal into spacecraft. We didn't become dangerous because we were perfect, Kethvar. We became dangerous because we were desperate." The arena was completely silent now. "Every human ship has a saying painted somewhere on the hull," Sarah continued. "It's old from our military history. Improvise, adapt, overcome. That's what we do. That's what we've always done." She leaned closer, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "This broken sword isn't a handicap. It's an opportunity. And opportunities are what humans live for." Kethvar the Destroyer, champion of 17 worlds, killer of legendary warriors, slowly raised all 4 arms in surrender. "I yield," he said. "Not to your weapon. Not to your strength. I yield to your species' refusal to accept defeat." As the crowd erupted in shocked chaos and the Galactic Council scrambled to process what they'd witnessed, Sarah Chen stepped back and examined her broken sword. The blade was duller now, chipped in 3 new places and definitely not regulation equipment. It was perfect. Later, when the human delegation was formally welcomed into the Galactic Senate, Ambassador Velthar asked her what she planned to do with the sword. Sarah smiled. The kind of smile that made entire species suddenly very interested in becoming humanity's allies rather than their enemies. "Keep it sharp," she said. "You never know when you'll need to cut through the impossible." In the years that followed, as humanity's influence spread through the galaxy, other species would learn what Kethvar had discovered in that arena. It wasn't the tools that made humans dangerous. It was their absolute refusal to let broken things stay broken, their ability to find strength in weakness, and their maddening tendency to win fights they had no business winning. The broken sword became a symbol of human diplomacy, a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous weapon wasn't the most advanced one, but the one wielded by someone too stubborn to know when they were beaten.